Hello students, I am Varsha Gaikwad. Today we will do revision on the remaining topics of Unit 1. So other topics which we have covered so far from Unit 1 are e-banking, interbanking, intra-banking, electronics payments, payment gateway, securities in e-banking. This includes SSL and digital signature, ATM and ECS, electronic clearing system. So students, I hope you all remember what was e-banking. E stands for again electronic. So electronic banking uses an electronic medium to help users get access to their funds. So users can use internet to get the access to their funds. It eliminates the need for the bank's customer to visit the bank to do financial transaction. Because of this electronic medium, customers do not have to go to bank for the financial transactions. They can do the financial transaction using an electronic medium or internet. Importance of e-banking. E-banking offers ease of access, secure transactions and 24-hour banking options. So it is available full time and you can access whenever you want. E-banking features. Online banking gives you convenient online access to your account information. First source online banking, you can securely access your account information quickly and easily 24/7. Advantages of e-banking. E-banking provides 24 hours, 365 days a year services to the customers of the bank. So like I have told you, this service, e-banking service, is available full time over the internet. You can get an access to your account whenever you want. It lowers the transaction cost. It includes a sense of financial discipline and promotes transparency. It reduces the load on bank branches. So because of this advantage, customers do not have to go to bank and thus it reduces the load on the bank branches. What is interbanking and intrabanking? So students, when we do this revision, you just try to recall all the topics what we have studied in the previous lecture. Okay, for that purpose I am taking this revision so that you will get a recall of the topics which we have covered so far. So intra-bank transfer means transferring of amount to beneficiary having account in same bank. So intra-banking means transferring of amount to beneficiary having account in same bank. Okay, example is A, who has an account in SBI, transfer 500 rupees to B, who also has account in SBI. So both the customer is having account in the same bank and they are responsible for the transfer of the money from the account in the particular bank to the other account in the same bank. Okay, that is intra-banking. So transfer of amount is taking place between the same bank, between the account which is in the same bank. Okay. Interbank transfer means transferring of amount to beneficiary having account in different bank. So here are two accounts, but the accounts are in different banks. Say one will be in SBI and other will be in ICICI Bank. Okay, so that is called as interbank, when the transfer of money or amount takes place between the account in different bank. Payment gateway. Payment gateway is a popular service for online credit, debit card and internet banking processing transaction. They claims to set up an account in 2 days times. How can I pay through payment gateway? Here are the basic steps on how it works. Step 1. A customer will place an order on the website that they visit by submitting the order, check out from the cart or any equivalent button. So this is the basic step when you follow while purchasing a product that you place an order on the website. Okay, and then you submit the order from the cart. Step 2, merchant securely transfers order information to the payment gateway. Okay, customer will pay with their preferred payment method. Examples of payment gateway are PayPal, Stripe, WorldPay. Your Paytm, Google Pay is also an example of payment gateway. Okay, using that you can pay for your order. Okay, e-payment. E again stands for electronic. So an electronic payment or e-payment in short can be simply defined as paying for goods or services on the internet. So E is electronic, that means how you pay over the internet for the goods or services. Okay, that is e-payment. It includes all financial operations using electronic devices such as computers, smartphones or tablets. So these financial operations can be done through different electronic devices. That different electronic devices can be your computer, it can be your smartphone or tablets. E-payments come with various methods like credit or debit card payments or bank transfers. Securities in e-banking. SSL, that is Secure Socket Layer. Secure Socket Layer SSL is a technology that encrypts or codes the packets of information sent over the internet so that only the sending and receiving computers can reassemble and read the information. Okay, so SSL is a technology which is used for a security purpose, and it encrypts the data or information between the sender and receiver computers. Okay, only the sending and receiving computers can read the information. Okay, so what basically SSL does? It encrypts the packets of information sent over the internet so that only the sending and receiving computers can read the information. Okay, no other hackers can hack the information, no other thief or other unauthorized access can get access to the information. Okay, encryption is used along with registered certificates that use a third-party registration service or your own registration site to confirm that your customers are actually connected to your site. Okay, so here digital certificates are used for the confirmation that yes, these are the customers who are doing the transaction. The combination of SSL and certificates make transactions very secure. So because of this verification technique, which verification technique? SSL and certificates. Okay, it makes the transaction very secure. Many companies use the SSL method developed by Netscape Communication. Okay, that automatically encrypts data passing between your web browser and merchant's server. So this SSL is being developed by Netscape Communication, and it is responsible for encrypting the data between your web browser and the merchant server. Secure socket layer. Again, however, sensitive information is still vulnerable to misuse once it is decrypted. Okay, decoded and unscrambled and stored on a merchant server. So once it is received at the receiver side or say at the server side, then there are chances that it can be misused or it can be hacked by hackers, but the chances are very low. Okay, this protocol fully encrypts all the information in both the HTTP request and the HTTP response, including the URL the client is requesting. Any submitted from contents including things like credit card numbers. So what kind of information does SSL encrypts? The information like your debit, credit card information and your financial transactions information. Any HTTP access authorization information, user names and passwords, and all the data written from the server to the client. So these represent a portion of SSL. Basically it is between the internet protocol and between the TCP. Okay, first come internet protocol IP, then secured socket layer SSL, then TCP based application protocol, that is HTTP, SMTP, NNTP, then secure hypertext transfer protocol, that is SHTTP, and then electronic commerce applications. So what does SMTP mean? What is SMTP? First of all, the full form is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Okay, it is a communication protocol for electronic mail transmission. So whenever you use any online mail application like your Gmail, Yahoo, other email applications, so the protocol which is used for an email communication purpose is SMTP, that is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is a part of the application layer of the TCP IP protocol. Okay, it is the part of what? Application layer of TCP IP. Next, using a process called store and forward, SMTP moves your email on and across networks. So this is a process called store and forward. Using SMTP moves your email on and over the network. It works closely with something called the mail transfer agent, that is MTA, to send your communication to the right computer and email box. So MTA decides the destination address. Okay. Hypertext transfer protocol, that is HTTP. Again, it is an application layer protocol. If you remember, application layer was the uppermost layer of OSI model. I have explained you OSI model. There were 7 layers. First was physical, then data link, then network, transport, session, presentation, and comes application layer. So this HTTP protocol is an application layer protocol for transmitting hypermedia documents such as HTML. That hypermedia documents can be your image, audio, video, text message, anything. It was designed for communication between web browsers and web servers, but it can also be used for other purposes. HTTP is the foundation of data communication for the World Wide Web. Okay. When you get an access to any website, then you can see that it is stated with some initials like HTTP. So that is a protocol used for getting an access to the application over the internet or any website that you browse. So that is stated with initials HTTP. So it is the foundation of data communication for the World Wide Web. Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is SHTTP. It is an absolute alternative to the HTTPS protocol for encrypting web communications carried over HTTP. Who developed it? Eric Rescorla and Ellen M. Network News Transfer Protocol. It stands again the same thing. NNTP is the protocol used to connect to Usenet servers and transfer newsgroups article between systems over the internet. So what is whatever the important data, like your important say news articles or news, okay, this type of for publishing this type of news, important news, NTTP protocol is used. Okay, that is Network News Transfer Protocol. It is similar to SMTP protocol used for sending email messages, but is designed specifically for newsgroup. The most common e-commerce application are as follows, like online marketing and purchasing. Say you use Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. Those are the online marketing and purchasing. So this is the one of the example of e-commerce application. Retail and wholesale, it's the same thing. Finance, manufacturing, online auction, e-banking, online publishing, online booking, ticket, seat, etc. Online publishing, like you can publish your articles, news articles, then newspapers, etc. So that is nothing but online publishing. E-banking, again, using electronic payment and on, you can do financial transaction over the internet or using electronically. Online booking, you can even book your movie tickets, your bus, railway tickets, aeroplane tickets using internet. So all these are the e-commerce applications. This I have explained using a diagram. Applications: e-banking, e-ticketing, e-advertising, e-trading, e-post. Digital signature certificate. DSC provides an additional level of safety and security for online banking transaction by digitally verifying the financial transactions and encrypting the information such that only intended parties can read it. So again, DSC is a type. It is used for the security purpose. It is one of the security technology in e-commerce, and it is used to secure your information, used to encrypt the information such that only the intended parties can read it. So these digital certificates are in the form the standard format like X.509. Okay, now we will see automated teller machine. An ATM is an electronic telecommunication device that enables customers of financial institutions to perform financial transactions such as cash withdrawals, deposits, fund transfers, or account information inquiries at any time and without the need for direct interaction with bank staff. Okay, so using ATM machine, you can withdraw or deposit the cash without the need to go to the bank. You can directly use ATM for this cash withdrawal and deposit purpose, or also you can do an account inquiry using ATM machine. Who invented the ATM machine? John Shepherd Baron Donald Wetzel. How ATM works? The automated teller machine is an automatic banking machine that allows the customer to complete basic transactions without any help from bank representatives. So the ATM allows the customer to complete their basic transaction. What can be the basic transaction? Like depositing the money or withdrawal of the money. Okay, without any help of bank representatives, means the customer do not have to go to the bank and interact with the bank representatives. There are two types of ATM. The basic one allows the customer to only draw cash and receive a report of the bank account balance. Another one is a more complex machine that accepts the deposit, provides credit card payment facilities, and reports account information. How ATM works? It is an electronic device that is used by only bank customers to process account transactions. Okay, so the customers who are having account in bank only, they are authorized to use ATM machines. The users access their accounts through a special type of plastic card that is encoded with user information on a magnetic strip. The strip contains an identification code that is transmitted to the bank's central computer by modem. The user insert the card into ATMs to access the account and process their account transactions. Advantages of ATM: it provides 24-hour service. ATM provides privacy in banking communications. ATM reduce the workload. Bank staff. ATM may give customer new currency notes. ATM are convenient for banks customers. It is very beneficial for travelers. ATM provides service without any error. Disadvantages of ATM: it uses fees sometimes, the inability to withdraw cash if an ATM is broken, potential for robbery, potential for having your PIN hijacked by criminals manipulating an ATM. Electronic clearing system. So students, I hope you all remember ECS. Electronic clearing system is an electronic method of fund transfer from one bank account to another. So this is a method by which you can transfer the fund from one account to another. It is generally used for bulk transfers performed by institutions for making payment like dividend, interest, salary, pension, etc. ECS can also be used to pay bills and other charges such as payments to utility companies such as telephone, electricity, water, or for making equated monthly installment payments on loans as well as SIP investments. So students, nowadays you can pay bill for everything like your internet bill, your electricity bill, Netflix bill, or any other kind of bill using internet. Okay, so for paying those bills, ECS is making you for transferring the funds, making you to allow the transfer of funds from one account to another account. So if you are paying a bill for electricity, that means that money is getting transferred from your account to the authorized electricity account. Okay, so ECS is responsible for the transfer of funds. ECS can be used for both ECS credit and ECS debit. ECS credit is used for allowing credit to a large number of beneficiaries by raising a single debit to the customer's account, such as dividend, interest, or salary payment. Advantages: the end beneficiary need not make frequent visit to his bank for depositing the physical paper instruments. Okay, using ECS, a customer do not have to go to bank. Using online applications, you can do whatever the transactions you want, the basic transaction. Delay in the realization of proceeds, which used to happen in the receipt of the paper instrument, is eliminated. The ECS user helps to save an administrative machinery for printing, dispatch, and reconciliation. So all the physical work is eliminated here as you are using the basic functions or electronically. Okay, provides the ability to make payment and ensure that the beneficiary's account gets credited on a designated date. ECS debit. ECS debit is used for raising debits to a number of accounts of consumer or account holders for affording a single credit to a particular institution in cases such as utility payments like electricity bills and telephone bills. Advantages to clients: trouble-free. It eliminates the need to go to the collection centers or banks and the need to stand in long queues for payment. So what is the advantage of ECS debit? That you do not have to go to bank and stand in queues for your payments. You can use internet for all your payments. Easy to track. Customers are not required to track down payments by last dates. ECS users would monitor the debts. The ECS user saves an administrative machinery for collecting the checks by monitoring their realization and reconciliation. Better cash management. Chances of frauds due to fraudulent access to paper. So students, on these topics, I have given you only 2 assignment questions. First is explain securities in e-banking. Like I have explained you SSL and digital signature. Next is what is e-banking. In that, explain interbanking and intra-banking. So in previous lecture I have also given you some assignment questions, and in today's also I have given you only 2 questions. So you can combine all these assignment questions and make a one assignment. So these are your assignment questions on unit 1. So we have completed with the revision on all the topics of unit 1. From next lecture we will start unit 2. I hope you understand all the topics. In case if you are having any confusion, you can just go to my video in which I have explained you in detail for that particular topic which you want to learn. And if still you have any doubt or confusion, don't hesitate to contact me or call me or text me. Okay, bye bye, take care, keep studying, keep doing revision.